My almost said water cup. Okay.
I'm like, you just said your water cup, and I'm like,
It doesn't smell like a water cup, does it?
eh.
Hey y'all, how you perking? I hope you're perking good. So, dogs are giving eye licks. Y'all, a lot of y'all were watching our puppy birthday party the other week, and y'all said, "Where have you been hiding him?" And
in the other room. I just stay in the other room.
he just stays in the other room, but you're like, "Where have you been hiding him? We want him on more videos." So I was like, okay. And people have been asking questions about him and stuff that I'm like, well, those are things he can answer. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll put out a post. First question, and they're just gonna be down here doing eye licks, these two. They just are. There's one over here. He's sucking his butt. Over here. Quit.
Let him see. No, let him do it.
Scoot, you were sucking butt. The world could see. He sucks butt like it's a push pop. It's just real, it's disconcerting. Shorty Love 87 says, how does he feel about you reading tarot and being a spiritual intuitive? Was he ever skeptical about it and had to, quote, see it to believe it?
Well, I was never skeptical about it because when we started talking, that was one of the things that we had, like very much like-minded in all the spiritual stuff, intuitive stuff, just thoughts in general about life and the universe and all that stuff. So we connected pretty quick on that. The tarot stuff, I liked it. It's not that I'm really deep into it, but now with her, I get to see more of the stuff, the cards, their meanings, and if I ever see something, you know, that a page that I follow or something, and I see a card that I don't know or I find interesting, now I would quickly just ask her, you know, like, what does this mean? I saw this today when I was thinking about that, and you know, she tells me right away what it means. I really like her doing that stuff because it's something that she loves and I like it too, and I'm starting to like it more. I hope that answers the first question.
Yep, that does. Before we even get into any more, there might be some people that watch this that aren't used to me talking about you or seeing you on a live stream or something like that, to where they don't know anything about you. So I guess, like, do you want to introduce yourself to the class?
How did I get here? Yeah, please stand up. Okay.
Yeah, how to introduce yourself to the class. Tell them a little bit about you, whatever you think is pertinent. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Doesn't have to be a big deal. Like.
Yeah. All right. Well.
What's your name?
Yeah, they know my name is first. You can start with your name. And I'm gonna say my age because she says I'm a baby, which I mean, she says she's gonna say that her whole life.
I don't say you're a baby. I've never said that.
Infant.
Yes.
Okay, infant.
You're an infant.
Sorry. I've been an infant even when I'm 50. So yes, my name is Julio. Okay,
whatever.
Well,
your name is Julio, but what do I call you?
Okay, Rico.
Why do I call you Rico?
Because
is your name? Do you have Rico anywhere in your name at all?
That's nothing to do with me. Nothing.
People think I call him by. They're like, oh, his name is Julio, but he goes by his middle name instead, and his middle name is Rico, and it's like, no.
Nothing to do
What's
with
your middle
me.
name?
Javier. So it has nothing to do with it. But thanks to her sister.
Rico.
Thanks to her sister, that one random day, you know, I was taking my sister's Shih Tzus to the vet so they can, you know, get a bath and haircut and all that stuff. And I did a video with them, and I showed the puppies or whatever to them, and her sister just typed like something like, what do you think, you can just, you know, show the puppies like that, looking all Rico Suave? And I'm like, what? I didn't know Alma knew, know that stuff. Which then, I didn't know, I know that question's not going to be there, but I didn't know you had a fish
I did have a fish named Rico
name.
Suave.
Okay, which is
Yes,
kind of
I had a beta fish named Rico Suave when I was like a preteen. And
which
yeah.
is kind of odd how that translated into now being my name, which is not my real name, but I mean that's how she calls me now.
Sometimes if I have to make a special point, it's not just Rico. It's what?
It's Riquito.
Yes.
Because it's like tiny. I don't know, I guess that's she goes like that, like she wants to crush me. But yeah, anyway, I was born in Texas, raised in Mexico.
We were in Mexico for how many years versus the states?
The thing is, I've lived my whole life in Mexico, but in the north, so it's right at the border. 10-minute drive from Mexico to the US, probably 15-minute drive. So I've always been back and forth.
But yeah, so you were in Mexico for like what, 30 years?
Probably
Basically.
29, 30 years, yep.
Yep.
Which
29, 30 years in Mexico, and now you are the infant age of
31, which is apparently
such a baby.
yeah. I started being an infant at 28 because that's when she started calling me that, and that's when I'm still gonna be an infant.
Yes. But it's good. They know all the basics about you. They know your first name. They know your real name is Rico or Riquito.
Okay.
And that you are a Scorpio because it's incredibly important because everyone knows to be weary of Scorpios.
Okay, that's my sun sign. Rising sign is an Aries. My moon sign is Taurus.
Yep.
So those three.
Thick-headed as fuck. She's in my armpit, and that is not the safest place for her to be. Rose Vay. Rose Vay is so sweet. I had a session with her, private reading with her the other day. Maybe you could do a reading with him and see what's happening in the future with you and him. The thing with that is a good thing that people would ask. The thing with that is I can't read for myself, or I guess I don't read for myself because I'm always worried that I'm going to read too far into the cards and I'm going to get my, I've told y'all before, I get scared. Like, I'm like, look at that. That means that this and this is going to happen. And oh no. And I look at the worst case thing. Pinot Noir. No, excuse me. Water cup. Usually is water for real. Like, I literally almost exclusively drink water. But anyway, water and green smoothies is all I drink. But I decided this was a special occasion. So, but yeah, I get in my own way and I get scared with what I'm reading, and so I can't read for myself. So actually, no, I don't do readings of, what's going to happen in our future, what's with our future. I don't know that I've ever read on that, and I don't know that I ever will read on that. So, Aries Allen. So, we have another Aries. My rising sign and my sun sign, your rising sign. Yeah, your rising sign, my sun sign, because you just said that, so it was in my head. What is the most spiritual experience that he's had? Have you ever did a reading for him that shocked him later when it came true? What happened? Love you guys. Love you back. First of all, love you, mean it. Second of all, we just touched on that about we haven't had a reading for him that shocked him when it came true. So yeah, so now that we got that, what's the most spiritual experience you've had?
Let me see. Well, I think the one that I really felt like a big connection with the spiritual world, or that it was a very, I don't want to say life-changing experience, but that I did feel it was something very, very spiritual. It was, I don't know if it was 4 or 3 years after my grandpa passed away, and the curious thing is the same thing happened to my sister at that same time, but I was not with her. So we talked about it like 2 or 3 days later.
And his sister is also an Aries. So
Yep.
And your grandma.
And my grandma, yeah.
Anyway,
So,
keep going, sorry.
yeah. that same day, we saw him in a dream. And I remember, well, she remembered too. Remember that we as we were talking the next couple of days, we described the same exact dream. I'm not going to go deep into the dream, but we were describing him with the same clothes, the same colors, and it was, he would always wear like a blue kind of, not jeans, but just like dress pants, and his white button shirt, and he would always wear a hat. And once he started getting old, he would use the cane and stuff like that. And we saw him, and he kind of like talked to us on the dream the next day in the morning. When I was walking, I went for a walk. I just felt really tired, and it's one of those moments where you like close your eyes and stuff and you catch your breath. And when I close my eyes, it's like, when you wake up the next day and you start remembering, fragments of the dream, whatever was your dream last night. But at that moment when I closed my eyes the next day, that's when everything just started, like if I saw everything again and it came like a movie. And then I felt like really, I don't want to say sad, but that nostalgic feeling where you almost want to cry, but it doesn't feel like fear or anything scary or sad. It just felt like, oh, this actually happened. So the same thing happened to my sister. At that same, I don't know if it was 11 or 12 in the morning, the day after, and then we talk about it 2 or 3 days after, which was really, really, a coincidence, but it was very, very curious on the way that it happened. And it was close to I remember it was like in October, because it was close to when the date that he passed away. So that is one of the things that I remember that, really was one of the most spiritual things that I can remember.
Karen D, does your boyfriend believe in card readings, or does he think it's all silly? Good question, and he answered that a second ago, that you don't think it's silly and you believe in it.
No, I do believe in all that.
Yes. This one we've kind of answered too. Esmeralda Vara.
I'm going to say it the most Mexican way I can,
Okay.
which is Esmeralda Vara.
Yeah. And I don't know if she's Mexican or where she's from, but it's a very pretty name. She says, does he have you give him a tarot reading, or does he prefer not to get one? And we kind of answered that too already, about how it's not that you don't prefer me to get one. It's just that we don't really do that with us. Pamela Griffiths, I see you comment all the time, and I really love you, and I just want to tell you how much I love you, Pamela, or Pam. Is it? I don't know what you would like me to refer to you as, but thank you. She has several questions. How did you guys meet? How long have you been together? How does he feel about your spiritual abilities? Do you want children? When's the wedding? Love you, mean it. So all of those 5 questions. I was going to get ready to
pull my hand, so there's 5
questions. But the good thing is we've answered some of these. So we have answered, how does he feel about your spiritual abilities? We've answered that. Okay. How long have you been together? I did just say a little over 2 years.
2 years.
So we did answer that. So let's start then with the first one that we haven't answered. How did you guys meet? You want to tell them the truth?
The three that are left?
Go ahead. Let me sit this quote-unquote tea while he tells us how we really met.
We were friends first. We met online.
And by friends,
yeah,
we mean that Alma convinced me not to block you.
I was so close,
bazillion times.
I was close to getting blocked. We met online, so I saw her pulling some cards, actually. When
that was the first? Was when I was pulling cards? Oh.
Yeah, I saw you pulling cards, yeah. We were in the same spiritual group, and, I would just see videos of, people there, and one day I saw her, so I just, clicked on it, and I saw she was, I'm like, oh my God, I love her, as soon as I saw her. So I clicked on the video and I opened it, and she was saying something about Reiki, and she was saying like,
which is Reiki is an energy healing modality, which I do. I am Reiki 3 master level certified, and I offer that as a service on my BeasTalksAndTarot.com website if you're interested. But anyway, so I was talking about Reiki energy healing.
And I like that because my mom does Reiki too, and she got me into that. So I know a little bit of Reiki. And then she was saying some stuff like, it's sacred stuff and you're not supposed to, just talk about it with anybody.
You're not supposed to say the names of the symbols out loud
the symbols
in front of
that you do in air and all that stuff. So I'm like, I'm gonna actually mention, say the name of a symbol, see if she gets like pissed or something, or she caught my attention, catch her attention or whatever. And yeah, the first thing she did, like as soon as my comment pop up there, she said my name, and she was like, "What? I just said like to not say that stuff,
Because I literally just said,
yeah.
And for respect, we don't say the name of the symbols out loud in company of folks who are non-practitioners. And he literally writes, bloop, bloop, bloop. He put the damn name of the thing.
And I'm
in
like,
the comments,
I know,
I called
and
his
I'm
ass
like,
out.
That's how we pretty much found out about each other, that we existed. Time went by, I was living in Mexico. She was living in Alabama at that time. And, every once in a while, every week or every 2 weeks, I would just, text her, send her like, a meme or a spiritual thing or stuff about or video or whatever,
Yeah, some sort of spiritual video or spiritual meme that was what we would be watching in that group.
Yeah, just, trying to be friends, but just trying to also, to connect with her, because I'm like, what if something happens in the future, I just want to keep in touch,
I'm rolling my eyes so hard that I hope my false lashes right now create a mighty wind that blows all the subscribers away, and that they come back to me because I miss them and I love them. It might.
Anyway, I'm gonna make the long story short. We both talk, but period. I'm gonna leave it like that. We both talk. I sent her a text message with, and I remember that it was a meme about authenticity. And then you can tell, like, from your side, like, what happened, what were you doing on your phone when you saw the message, and what were you thinking?
So first
so you can roll your eyes again.
Has all been his perspective, correct? Okay, so from my perspective, I was with someone, and this guy would message me about once every other week, which is not often, but once every other week I'd get a message from this guy, and it would be benign, totally nothing, no big deal. It would be a spiritual meme, so it fit perfectly with the spiritual group that we were in together. But I'd be talking to Alma. Y'all know Alma, the twin sister. I'd be calling her up and be like, okay, dude, this guy is messaging me every other week with some stuff, and that's completely benign. There's nothing to it. But I'm about to block his ass because I am in a relationship, and who the hell sits there and does that? Like, no, I'm about to block. She's like, don't block Julio. He's harmless and he's precious. That's what the twin would say. You know that's what you say, Alma.
She would give me signs. She said
I would give you signs?
Yeah, like kind of like when we had a reading. And
No.
Okay. I don't want to say anything.
No. So this is what this motherfucker took as signs. This is what he took as signs.
The signs are everywhere.
Okay. So tell me if this is a real sign or if this is a sign in somebody's head. Okay? He would say to himself in his brain, like he would pay.
Not to myself. I would ask spirit.
He would pay for a service, like for a Reiki session or a private reading or something. He would pay. And then he would, in his head, tell his spirit guides, okay, if she comes on here wearing makeup, then she doesn't like me. But if she comes on here and she's not wearing makeup, then that's a sign for us.
Yeah, because if she's not wearing makeup, she's doing it on purpose, trying to be like, look, I'm not showing interest in you, so I'm not gonna do what I normally do.
And so it was on purpose that I was not. It's true.
That's all I wanted to know.
It's true. I was not wearing makeup. It's true. But that doesn't mean that his little sign came true. It means, bitch, I am in a relationship.
All I wanted to know was like, are you gonna do something different that you would do normally in your sessions? And you did. So that's in the.
How do you know what I do normally in my sessions? If I normally
I found that later when you told me that.
I wasn't in the Scorpio bullshit.
That's what you told me. I mean, and the other one was when the second one we were wearing the same color shirt.
Oh, we wore the same color shirt, so it was a sign.
It was
because we wore the same color shirt. It was a sign.
It was written in the stars. It was.
Y'all are hearing this?
Yeah. Keep going.
First of all, don't tell me what to do. Second of all, okay, I'll go on. So, but yes.
What you saw on the screen that day to go to the timeline.
The day I got broken up with, not the day I got broken up with. The day I got broken up with was bad, but it was a while. Probably a week after that, I was at my parents' house because I had to move out. In 48 hours, I moved my entire world, and I moved out, and I moved states away to South Carolina from Alabama. Doesn't sound like a very long way. It was a 5-hour drive with all your shit, so it does take a while. And while I was there, I was like, you know what? People know here that I'm in a relationship. I need to type up a post to let people know that I'm no longer in a relationship that I've been broken up with. And when I was going to type that up, I typed it up, and you know how on certain posts you can say, limit who sees this post? I limited the ex-boyfriend's entire family and friends, and I put him on the list.
And me.
I limited it because I did not want him to see that I had been broken up with. I did not want him to see that I was single. So I put him out of the post so that he could not see that. And I typed it up, and I sent it out, and I said, there, that's that. And then I felt guilty about singling him out because I felt like, am I doing the wrong thing? Is that being silly? Am I being rude? Am I being presumptive? And I'm like, you know what? Don't be an overthinker right now. The thing is, spirit guides, if he's meant to know about this, he'll message me. And if he's not meant to know about this, he won't. And I went about my business, and within seconds, not even a minute, within seconds, someone's ass sent me a message.
Which I didn't know what was going on the other side. I didn't know. I was just like, oh, I felt like I'll just send her a message today.
So he sent me a message, and I was like, damn it. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get real with you. I just put a post up, and I just singled you out and made it where you couldn't see that post. And here's what I wrote, copy,
and
paste.
Then I got that message through inbox. I'm like, what? I literally stood up because I wasn't expecting that.
Let them know, how long did you send me a message every other week? And I was asking Alma, is this guy going too far? Should I block him, or is this okay?
2 years.
2
It
years.
was 2 years.
Y'all, he didn't just say weeks. He didn't just say months. He said 2 years.
Yeah.
Y'all, for 2 years, I would get a message.
I knew.
A simple spiritual meme, a simple message from his ass every other week for 2 years. And I'm like, okay, all he's doing is sending me this. That's not bad. He's not pushing the lines. He's not saying anything he shouldn't say. Whatever. That's that. But still, that's weird. I don't know this guy. I'm in a relationship. Fuck this. Let me tell Alma. And Alma's like, don't block him. He's precious and he's harmless.
I would send for like, it was 2 years, but I knew there was something there. Like,
And Alma's point of view was any guy that is willing to message you for 2 years knowing that all you ever give him back is a thumbs up emoji or a smiley face emoji, or sometimes I wouldn't respond at all.
Sometimes no. Sometimes I would get a sentence, if, I would get some few words. Sometimes it would be a very few interaction, like one back and forth ones. That's it. Sometimes she would just like the post or heart the post, but didn't even reply at all. But so
he got next to nothing in terms of getting something back for 2 years, and he kept going.
Mm-hmm. And from that day, we started talking every day. I remember she even told me that day, we just started typing back and forth, and she was like, I'm going to annoy you because I'm going to be typing to you back. And we did start talk like just every day, all day. It just went like that from one day to another.
Yep, and so when it said you guys want children, you answered that you didn't. And for me, I didn't. I was like the only person that I could think of or know of around my area of the Bible Belt that didn't want kids. And it's not that I hated kids. I loved kids. I love my nieces and nephew. I love kids. But I just don't want any of my own. I want fur kids like this girl and this boy and this other boy right here that y'all probably can't see because he's under the covers. That's what I want. My 3 fur kids and my nieces and nephews. And I've never wanted kids. And people kept saying, you'll change your mind. You'll change your mind. And did I ever change my mind? No, I never changed my mind. And people stopped asking, and the people that used to pressure me to do it, now they're like, oh, yeah, good. Don't have kids. You're too old now. And I'm like, well, thank you, first of all. But thank you, second of all. Fine, fuck it. So no.
We got all 5.
And so we don't want kids. Last thing was, when's the wedding?
I know you.
Oh, my God. So, anywho, because he knows I'm divorced, I am like, granted, I got divorced 5 years ago, been separated for 6 years, but still, I'm a slowpoke now. Now I'm like, I don't know about all that shit. And so I'm slow enough that he went this far, and y'all saw in another video that he gave me this ring on the winter solstice last year as kind of a, I guess the best way we could describe it is like a promise ring or whatever.
I gave you a symbol of my intentions and a promise. I'm going step by step.
Okay, Jojo Jameson. How does he feel now that you're YouTube famous now? Because Peter Mon always is like, I'm YouTube famous now. And then he's like available on, you know what I mean? Like Dad, AF, that kind of thing. Rock on, gold dust woman. So Peter Mon, all that, you know who Peter Mon is. But, so it's funny, he says, how does he feel that you're, quote, YouTube famous now? And we all know that I am not at all YouTube famous. That's the joke. That's the funny part. But what do you feel about the YouTube stuff, I guess?
Whatever makes her happy, it makes me happy too. So if there's something that she loves and she really likes, I like it and I love it too. So seeing her, build all this and do this every day, I would say, even if you don't post a video every day, there's stuff that you do every day to make content and stuff like that. It just makes me happy seeing her happy. So I really, really liked it. That's how I want to see her.
That's sweet. So then this person doesn't have a name or a profile picture. Says, does he like tarot readings and does he have some spirituality? And if yes, what is it? And where did you meet each other? We actually answered those.
Okay. Yeah, I want to know about we did answer everything.
Yep, we answered those. So Bruiser Bites says, does he miss Mexico and want to move there with you someday?
I don't know about moving. But I mean, it's normal, you know, because, you know, that's where I grew up, and there's some things. The thing is, I've always loved both countries. So there's things in the US that I really like, and there's things in Mexico that I really like. So I'm enjoying, you know, where I'm right now, but, you know, you do miss, you know, some of the things that, you know, you used to have. And I don't really mean like material things, but stuff that, you know, every country is different, that you might see it on TV or stuff like that. But when you live there, you know, not just in Mexico, any country is completely different because it's like another life. So yes, I do get nostalgic sometimes, and I do miss some of the stuff, but I just have the thought, feel it, and it's right there. And it doesn't make me feel like, you know, I wish one day we would move, you know, myself, you know, back there, and you wanted to move there with me. I don't see it that way.
Odds are this is probably going to be a part 1 and a part 2 video.
Okay.
Because we're probably going to have it long enough.